Welcome, children of light. May you come to understand this truth. May come to love this realization. You are now becoming initiated to new knowledge. That man must be redeemed from this self, his lower self. Man is the crowning work of the maker of all created things. He gains his greatness and maintains his positions of supremacy solely because he possessed that wonderful endowment, mind, the ability to think and reason and have in thought to forge ahead along such lines he chooses. He is forever separated from and superior to all other orders of creation because no other has this mind attribute. Think, child, the highest form of creation, whether in art or life, is genius. Genius is natural to man and in no way more mysterious than other faculty of the mind. You are a genius listener. The fact that you chose to listen to this video shows us that you are vibrating on a frequency of curiosity, of the level of mental plane. You have chosen to grow a little more today. How thankful am I? We must then ask the question, is there a law to mastering the mind and becoming a genius? Here are the deep truths thought intensified. Vision made concrete, clear observation frozen into fact. In short, listener, it is mind power turned into action. Genius, or high levels of utilizing the mind, is will-directed thought force vitalized into life. This is the turning point of man. Thought is power. Again and again declare that great truth. Believe it, dream it, go forth and put it into action. Let's have some practical applications of this truth. Belief begets becoming. What is your perception, child? Perception as the architect of reality. The outside world is just your unfolding perception. This statement acknowledges that reality, as we experience it, is largely colored by our individual perceptions. According to ancient Eastern philosophies, such as those found in Buddhism and Taoism, all phenomena are filtered through the lens of our minds. The Buddhist teaching of Maya, or illusion, emphasizes that what we perceive is not the intrinsic reality, but rather our mind's interpretation of it. Perception as power. Perception is equated to power. The power lies in the ability to shape our experiences based on how we choose to see the world. This echoes the Hermetic principle of mentalism from the Kabbalion, which asserts that the all is mind, the universe is mental. By mastering our perception and thoughts, we harness an incredible power to shape our reality. Geometry of philosophy. Thought, when aligned with a particular philosophy, acquires its geometry. In sacred geometry, shapes and structures are seen as manifestations of particular frequencies of consciousness. Just as certain mathematical patterns underpin physical reality, philosophies impart a certain geometry upon the thoughts and actions of those who subscribe to them. Philosophy, shaping in reality. Philosophy shapes reality via the power of human consciousness. Human consciousness has the ability not only to perceive reality, but also to influence it. The Hindu concept of Brahman and Atman gives us insight into the unity between individual consciousness and universal consciousness. When the mind is disciplined and aligned with a high philosophy, as in the practice of yoga or Zen, it shapes reality according to the tenets of that philosophy. For example, Stoicism teaches resilience and tranquility. When one adopts Stoic principles, their perception of life's events changes. What might be seen as misfortune through an ordinary lens becomes an opportunity for inner growth and virtue. The Stoics' reality is thus fundamentally altered by their philosophical framework. So, Child of light, your perception is like a sorcerer's wand, able to weave spells that shape the very fabric of your reality. Adopting a philosophy can help direct the energies of your perception, much like how the sun's rays, when focused through a lens, can ignite fire. With awareness and intention, marry your thoughts to a philosophy that embodies the higher virtues and principles you seek. In this love of wisdom, seekers of truth have historically endeavored to understand the nature of reality, the essence of existence, and the fundamental principles that govern the universe. Plato's allegory of the cave. Plato illustrates that our perceived reality is based on the shadows of deeper truths. As we acquire philosophical wisdom, we can perceive and therefore interact with higher forms of reality. Let's come back to the idea of how belief carries information. This information can have shapes. This information can hold a particular frequency. Throughout history, geometric patterns have been revered as the language through which the universe expresses itself. The ancient Greeks, including Pythagoras and Plato, viewed geometry as a sacred science, a way to understand the divine essence and the order of creation. Plato famously proclaimed geometry existed before the creation and believed that geometric forms were the closest manifestations of the divine, accessible to the human mind. The concept of geometry as the underlying structure of reality extends beyond Western philosophy. In sacred traditions around the world, geometric patterns represent the fundamental nature of space and time. Flower of Life, Metatron's cube, and the Sri Yantra are examples of symbols that embody intricate geometric perfection, representing the interconnectivity of all existence. In Hermeticism, one of the primary principles is that the universe operates on vibration. Everything is in a state of constant motion. Thoughts, being forms of energy, manifest as specific vibrations. When you direct your thoughts towards a particular philosophy, those vibrations align with the geometric patterns that the philosophy embodies. Modern science reveals that our brain patterns and neural networks exhibit fractal geometry, complex repeating patterns. This suggests that our thoughts inherently possess a geometric structure. When we synthesize these patterns with philosophical understandings, they resonate with corresponding frequencies in the quantum field, thereby interfacing with the geometry of reality. The thoughts applied to a particular philosophy channel human consciousness through specific cognitive frameworks or matrices. These mental geometries dictate perception, understanding, and subsequent actions. Thus, philosophy not merely influences, but actively shapes reality by directing the flow of consciousness through ordered pathways. Plato's theory of forms posits that the material world is a shadow of the true reality, an immaterial world of ideal forms or geometries. Philosophies that induce the mind to perceive these forms elevate human consciousness, lining it with transcendent realities and thereby transforming the material world accordingly.